William Wallace. William Wallace was born in the 1270s in Elderslie in Renfrewshire into a gentry family. Wallace was the second son of Sir Malcolm Wallace of Elderslie in Renfrewshire. The elder Wallace was a minor landowner and a vassal of James, 5th Steward of Scotland. In 1296 King Edward I of England deposed and imprisoned the Scottish King John de Balliol and declared himself ruler of Scotland. Sporadic resistance had already occurred when, in May 1297, Wallace and a band of some 30 men burned Lanark and killed its English sheriff. Joined by Sir William Douglas, the hardy, Wallace next marched on Scone, drove out the English justiciar, and attacked the English garrisons between the rivers Forth and Tay. The Scottish steward, Robert the Bruce, later King Robert I, and others now gathered an army, but it was forced to surrender at Irvine by Sir Henry de Percy and Sir Robert de Clifford, July 1297. Wallace, however, remained in action, with a large company in the forest of Selkirk, according to a contemporary report made to Edward. Wallace laid siege to Dundee but abandoned it to oppose, with Andrew de Moray, an English army that was advancing towards Stirling under John de Warenne, Earl of Surrey. The Battle of Stirling Bridge, fought on September 11, 1297, stands as one of the most significant and celebrated victories in Scottish history, led by William Wallace and Andrew Moray. This battle was pivotal in Scotland's struggle for independence against English rule under King Edward I. By 1296, King Edward I of England had successfully invaded Scotland, deposing its king and placing the country under English rule. The harshness of the occupation fueled resistance, and William Wallace, a minor knight from Renfrewshire, emerged as a leader of rebellion. Alongside Andrew Moray, who was leading a similar uprising in the north, Wallace took up arms against the English occupation. In the summer of 1297, their forces joined, and they set their sights on challenging the English army under the command of John de Warenne, the Earl of Surrey, and Hugh de Cressingham, Edward's treasurer in Scotland. The English army, numbering around 9,000 soldiers, vastly outnumbered Wallace and Moray's estimated 5,000 Scots. However, the Scottish commanders had a crucial advantage: their intimate knowledge of the terrain around Stirling Bridge. The narrow wooden bridge that crossed the River Forth was the only feasible route for the English forces to advance toward the Scots. Wallace and Moray realized that the English army would be most vulnerable while crossing the bridge. They devised a plan to wait until a significant portion of the English forces had crossed, then attack them before they could regroup on the other side. On the morning of September 11th, the English began their crossing. Despite warnings from some of his commanders about the dangers of advancing in such a vulnerable position, John de Warenne pressed ahead. Wallace and Moray waited until approximately half of the English forces had crossed the bridge, then launched their attack. The Scots descended from their positions and charged the English troops, cutting them off from reinforcements still on the other side of the river. The narrow bridge, combined with the disorganized nature of the English forces, made it impossible for the English to effectively respond. Many English soldiers were trapped, either cut down by the Scots or forced into the river, where they drowned under the weight of their armor. The bridge itself became a bottleneck, preventing any significant reinforcements from crossing to aid their comrades. The English suffered a catastrophic defeat, with thousands killed, including Hugh de Cressingham, who was reportedly flayed after his death, his skin used as trophies by the Scots. The survivors were forced to retreat, abandoning their position in Scotland. The Battle of Stirling Bridge was a turning point in the wars of Scottish independence. The victory at Stirling gave the Scots a massive morale boost and solidified William Wallace's reputation as a national hero and leader. His and Andrew Moray's ability to outsmart and outmaneuver a numerically superior force demonstrated the effectiveness of guerrilla tactics and the strategic use of terrain. Stirling also showed that the English army, though powerful, could be defeated. Wallace was later appointed Guardian of Scotland, ruling in the name of the deposed King John Balliol. However, the war was far from over. Wallace would face defeat at the Battle of Falkirk in 1298, but Stirling Bridge remained a symbol of Scotland's capacity to resist domination and fight for independence. Today, The Battle of Stirling Bridge is remembered as a key moment in Scottish history and a testament to the leadership and bravery of William Wallace and Andrew Moray. The victory was a symbol of defiance against a more powerful oppressor, inspiring future generations of Scots in their ongoing struggles for independence. William Wallace was a key figure in Scotland's struggle for independence from English rule during the late 13th century. The Battle of Falkirk, fought on July 22, 1298, was a pivotal conflict during the First War of Scottish Independence, where William Wallace faced the English army led by King Edward I. After Wallace's victory at the Battle of Stirling Bridge in 1297, he was appointed Guardian of Scotland and became a symbol of Scottish resistance against English domination. Edward I, known for his military prowess, was determined to crush the Scottish rebellion and invaded with a powerful army. Wallace, aware of the strength of the English forces, employed a scorched earth strategy, destroying crops and supplies to weaken the enemy as they advanced. However, Edward's army eventually caught up with Wallace's forces near the town of Falkirk. In preparation for battle, Wallace deployed his troops in schiltrons, large circular formations bristling with long spears. These schiltrons were designed to defend against Edward's feared cavalry. Supporting the infantry were a smaller contingent of Scottish archers and cavalry, although they were not as well equipped as their English counterparts. The battle began with Edward's longbowmen, whose devastating volleys of arrows caused significant damage to the Scottish schiltrons. The English cavalry then charged, breaking the weakened schiltron formations. Wallace's forces were overwhelmed, and despite their courage, the Scots suffered a crushing defeat. Wallace managed to escape, but his army was decimated. This defeat effectively ended his time as Guardian of Scotland, and he resigned shortly after. Though the Battle of Falkirk was a decisive victory for Edward I, the war for Scottish independence continued, with Wallace remaining a symbol of resistance until his eventual capture and execution in 1305. The battle demonstrated the tactical superiority of combined arms warfare, with English archers and cavalry playing a decisive role. Wallace was taken to London, where he was tried for treason and brutally executed. Despite his death, Wallace became a symbol of Scotland's resistance and enduring fight for independence, inspiring future generations to continue the struggle against English domination. Wallace's life and legacy symbolize Scotland's fight for independence, and he remains an enduring national hero in Scottish history. His story was popularized worldwide by the film Braveheart. Thank you for being to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and tell us what you think about this video below in the comments section. Let's meet again with another interesting video.